I'm great. All right, so move ahead. What are you going to talk to us today about?
Yes, so I'm going to talk of automating deployment. So I think Sarah spoke about building apps with Flutter Flow. I think this is the
Yeah,
exact thing you need. So after building the app, what next? You have to place it on App Store so that the world can use your products or your work. So I'll talk about how to automate this process.
absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it then.
Okay, thank you. So let me share my slides. Okay. Okay, I believe my slides can be seen. So let's start from the first one. Slideshow. Kindly confirm if my slides are displaying. Okay. Okay. So I'll proceed. So automating app deployments to app stores and notifying team via Slack. So just as Sarah said, you can use Flutter or any other technology you want to develop your app. However, I'm going to speak about how you can automate this process to app stores. And then if you are working with a team, you can automatically also notify them when you make any updates to this app on app stores. So who is Papa Kofi? I'm Papa Kofi Boy. I'm an engineering student, a software engineer, and an ex GDSE lead at Academic City University. So that's my GitHub handle down there, Storm Gear. You can also check out my accounts and check out some of the things I've been working on. So the agenda for tonight is introduction to app deployment, how Fastlane can help save time. So when it gets there, I'll talk about what Fastlane is, the Slack API and Slack apps, how you can use Slack to notify your team members as well, and a walkthrough of how Fastlane works. Then, if there's time, we talk about questions and answers. Okay, next slide. So, save developer time and productivity by automating app deployments. So, in the app deployment stage of development, you have to go through a few steps or sometimes a lot of steps. But then with automation, you can save time and productivity. So you could just automate the process and use that time that you would have used to do the manual work to do something more productive, right? So some of the technologies that would be discussed here Fastlane, the Slack API, and the Ruby programming language. Yeah. So let's talk about app deployment in general. So generally, mobile app deployment is the process of you making your app available to users, right, through the app stores. So the popular ones are Google Play Store and then the Apple App Store. However, in reality, there are other places you can find apps like APK Pure and F-Droid. But the common ones that almost everyone uses is the iOS and the Google Play Store. So, what are some of the requirements for Play Store if you want to deploy your app to Play Store? First of all, you need a developer account. And yes, I think the presentation before mine, a few people were asking about payments, right? So, with a developer account, yes, you have to pay. I think currently the rate is at 25 USD for a lifetime. So, it's good just once and then you are done with the payments. You can have access to your developer accounts anytime, anywhere. And you also need to build the app bundle so that I can deploy it. So the key steps are listed at my right hand side and probably your left hand side. So number one is development, sorry. Number two is testing. Number three is app store submission. And number four, go to a review and approval process. Then finally you publish it, right? Just like how people write, books and publish it. Software engineers or software developers also have to publish their apps for the world to see it and use it as well. Okay. You also need a Google Play console, which is similar to having a developer account generally. So let's talk about iOS. So iOS as well, you also need to have, you also need to be on the developer program, the Apple developer program. And once again, you have to pay for this as well. So the rate is currently at 99 USD per year annually, which means you'd have to renew this every year to continue to have access to the stores. App Store Connect. So App Store Connect is also a web app that helps you to kind of go through that process of publishing your app. And then Xcode. So Xcode helps you to build iOS apps. There's a little twist to iOS developments. You probably need a MacBook. However, there could be alternatives. If you don't own a MacBook, you could also have a virtual machine, which will give you Mac OS. You could use tools like Code Magic. You could build your iOS application on Code Magic, which is essentially also kind of offers virtual machines as well. You also need certificates and profiles. So you need a physical iOS device to set up your certificates. It also has a similar step by step process, just as the Android process. So let's talk about Fastlane. Fastlane. So Fastlane is the automation tool that is used to automate processes or automate app deployments. Now, what can Fastlane do for you? It can help you to automate screenshots. So whenever I go to Play Store or App Store, you can see screenshots of the apps, right? You can automate it, so you don't have to do it manually. And then you have beta deployment. So before you launch your app to the world, you might want to test the app, right, to a few beta testers so that they can provide feedback and you can also improve on the app. So Fastlane helps with this as well. And then App Store deployment, just what you're going to talk about today. Okay. Now the Slack API, just like an add-on because I felt that to enable, since you're automating the process of app deployment, why not also automate the process of communication as well? I mean, so immediately you kind of upload the app on Play Store or App Store, you can also write code that can immediately inform your team members about this change, which also improves team communication and productivity. So the Slack API actually allows developers to send messages and media files. So you can actually send messages and maybe APKs. So if the app is Android, APK. If it's an iOS app, that's the IPA. And what you use is called a Slack app. A Slack app is generally an application which Slack allows you to create on their platform. And you're able to add this to your channel. So if you're familiar with Slack, you know about Slack channels. So the Slack app can be easily added to any channel of your choice if you have like the right permissions to do so. And you can add a Slack app to your channel for automated communication with team members. So let's go through the key steps, right? So number one, you have to create a Slack app first of all. Then you can add it to your workspace or the Slack channel. Number two is write appropriate links to automate tasks. So I'll talk about this more. Number three is use already existing fast lane actions. I also talk about that. They are all generally under the bracket of fast lane. Okay, so this is where it gets pretty exciting. We are going to walk through some code samples on how you can also use fast lane, right? I'm going to open my GitHub now. Let's see. I'm quitting screen sharing. I'm sharing my, yeah. Yes, I believe. Okay, let's give it a while. Okay, I believe it's showing now. So this is a repo I created purposefully for sharing my knowledge on Fastlane, and I'd like to talk about what Fastlane is and help you understand it better. right? So fast lane configuration to automate uploads to Play Store and notify team via Slack. I'll talk about this. Okay, so fast lane is a tool, as I said, that helps you to automate deployments to Play Store and App Store. Now, Fastlane contains the so-called fast file. So I think it's here. Let me see. So if you enter, yeah, this is the so-called fast file. In this fast file, you see things like this lane on line 28. So lanes are automation task that you write. And they are quite concise because if you can see this one here, it says increment the build number in pubspec.yml. It looks very concise. You don't have to write a lot, but this essentially increases the build number so that you're able to submit to Play Store. And I have various lanes here, which I've explained in the README file. So yeah, I'll just walk through a few of them. I just talked about incrementing the build number. Let me talk about building the APK. Yeah, so with the fast lane, you can also run shell commands. So if you have a CI tool, maybe you're using what's it called? GitHub Actions, right? And you are running some workflows on a remote machine or like a virtual machine. You could also initiate shell commands right from the fast lane configuration. You could also upload the APK to the Slack channel. As I said earlier, the Slack API allows you to upload media files, PDFs, APKs, and so on. If you are using Firebase distribution, you can also use Fastlane to configure that. And if your app is iOS, you can also release iOS builds to App Store Connect and essentially get testers on um, test flights. So mainly this is the process. I wouldn't really go into the code base, but I would share it with you all and you can check it out. And you can try it. I mean, you can also visit their website. They have more functionalities to help you automate a lot of tasks that you would otherwise do manually. Yeah. So this brings an end to my presentation. And let me quit sharing the screen and share the other one. Okay. This. Yeah. So essentially, I just ran you through how you can automate uploads to Play Store and App Store. Thank you very much for your time and thank you for being with us. Thank you also to the organizers, Shadrach, Akweli, for their hard work. Yeah. You can scan.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you to Papa Kofi. That was a very powerful session. I am looking through the comment section for questions for you. Um, okay. Some Wonder Tech Universe said Huawei App Gallery Store, Aurora Store, it's been at 25 USD for a long time now. Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Is it someone said, "Hey, Apple"?
Oh, yeah, somebody said, hey, Apple.
$99 a year.
Interesting. Yeah, so thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. We have learned a lot. Personally, I have learned a lot. I didn't even know about Fastlane, but thank you for sharing that too. So we are moving on to the next session. We are going to have Hannah Lomenyo, and Hannah is going to talk about navigating the tech world as a woman in tech. So I'm going to have Hannah up on stage from any time from now. And yeah, so thank you, Papa Kofi, for your session. So if you are still with us, I want you to keep updating your socials. If you have not yet done so, we are live GDG Accra on YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn as well. We are also on X and Instagram, so you can join the community. My colleagues have shared the link. My colleagues have shared the link. Yeah, I have seen a question. So since Papa Kofi are still here, does Fastlane automatically upload the app? Um, Papa Kofi, you are muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry for that. I hope I'm heard now.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
Fastlane exactly does that. It automatically uploads the app, but then you would have to set it up. You'd have to write the lane that would do so. So you just have to write a few lines of code, and then it will do it for you. I mean, you initiate the process by running a shell command or a terminal command.